Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Radio Bodybuilding. I'm your host, Amir Flakes, alongside my co-host, my best friend, the one and only King Kamali.
Yo, yo.
Today, we got a truly special guest, someone who's not only a bodybuilding legend on the stage, also one of the most respected, prestigious coaches in the sport of bodybuilding. He has shaped champions, he influenced bodybuilding philosophy, and left a mark on this sport that goes way beyond trophies. Please welcome Mr. Milos Sārchef.
Thank you for inviting me. This is super special because it's for Iranians, my brothers and sisters that I love so much for many years. I never really had a chance to be there, but one of these days, as I told you before the podcast, it's my destiny to go there. I really feel it. I need to go. I would love to go. And I feel that love and respect that I get from Iranian people all the time. And I hope you see how much I love you guys.
Oh man, we love you so much. We love you so much. How you doing, King?
Good, man. Good. I'm happy that we have Milos. He's been a good friend to me for many years. I always said to people, there's good guys, there's bad guys, and there's ugly guys in the sport. He's one of the good guys. He's definitely one of the fucking good guys. No, not a hateful bone in this man's body. And the funny thing is I've tried to make him mean for many years now. I personally have tried so many times and had arguments with him. Milos, you got to get mad, Milos, but he's just such a nice guy. It's impossible, and I love him.
Truly.
Well, King, we are here to spread the love, not hate. Support, and this is how I look at it. Even people who do me wrong, I never felt any sense of revenge or doing something bad. You know, they're gonna eventually learn, and that's how it always is. They come back to me, apologize, and we go from there. But spread the love, and you're gonna go far.
Yes, sir.
Wise words from a wise man.
All right.
Okay, Flex, you go, man. Take it over, brother.
All right, man. Let's start from the beginning. A lot of younger generation really don't know where you're coming from. You're a champion of 80s, 90s. You're this super amazing coach right now. Let's start from the beginning. Let's go back. Tell us about your childhood, your first exposure to sport, and how bodybuilding really entered your life.
Yeah, well, listen, as a son of academic doctors, family, I was directed many different ways, and one of the ways that my father wanted to show me is the physical. You know, man has to be an athlete, has to be in sports. And he first basically signed me up for karate classes, martial arts, to learn the discipline because martial arts is all about the discipline. So this is how I started when I was like 6 years old, and then a couple of years later, I realized, wait a second, karate is not Olympic sport. And I don't know why, since the beginning, I always felt that patriotic duty to represent my country in something. So since age of 6, imagine that, I wanted to represent my country. So at the age of 8, I turned into judo because there was Olympic sport, and we had a Olympic medalist from Novi Sad that was right by my house. Later, I actually went to Mr. Slavko Bada when I was in his team. So I was in judo for like about 8 years. And as you know, you have some strength training, which we did, but not until the moment when somebody had a Flex magazine in a gym. And I've seen, hold on a second, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And then you see what human body can look like, because I've never seen this in Yugoslavia. There's no reason for man to be that muscular, right? But moment when I seen that picture, it was instantly, I want to be just like Arnold. I want to do whatever it takes to build muscle. So at the age of 17, I really committed myself to training bodybuilding. And probably I like King, you maybe, Amir, and every Iranian, because I do think that Iranian men are about the toughest men out there. And they're athletes and they're fighters. And you just look at the bodybuilders from Iran, dozens of world champions, not just, Hadi Chupan or Baito or Behrouz or Reza or, a few other people that we know. I think anybody in Iran, man, tough and muscular,
Tough.
like man's supposed to be.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. Milos, you're not just a former pro. You're one of the most active competitors in IFBB history. I think you and Dexter, over 70 pro shows you competed in, which to me as a pro is insane. But that was you. That was we all knew you as that guy. You had 10 Mr. Olympia appearances, and after competing, you became one of the most sought after coaches of all time. Everybody knows you, the mind, the Milos. You're one of the greatest coaches. I attest to that too. You are. We want to dive into that journey, your beginnings. When did you start to put together your philosophy, your nutritional philosophy? When did you start to put A, B, and C together to become, so you build the foundation of who Milos is today?
Yes, I'll tell you this. Right away, initially, when you want something bad, like I said, I've seen Arnold and I wanted to be like this. So I thought I'm just going to go out there and train like a mad dog as long as possible, as much as possible. So I was training for like about 4 hours a day. Obviously, I didn't have a bodybuilding diet. I had a breakfast, lunch, and dinner from my mother's house, whatever was served, right? And soon enough, I realized after 3 months, I got smaller. And that's when I had to like stop and rethink. And then I talked to my father, who was Dr. Science of neuropsychiatry, who always told me that if you do everything or anything, put your heart and soul and do 100%. Learn about the subject, don't just guess. It's
Right.
one thing knowing, and the other thing is guessing. So immediately I did nutritional ABCs. What builds muscle? Protein. Carbohydrates and fat is energy, nutrients. Okay. You take too much, you put it where you don't want it, you don't have enough, you don't have a performance. So right away, instantly, since I was 17 years old, I realized that my diet should be 3 hour diet, like 24 hours diet that you have a maintenance phases and possibly anabolic phases. From the very beginning, it was clear. I visualize the food that I eat. If it's protein, it's going to be broken down to amino acids, and amino acids are going to circulate in the blood and then go wherever physiologically is needed. I'm a bodybuilder. I need extra to build muscle. So I made sure that I have a sufficient amount of protein constantly all day long, far more than what medical community was suggesting, what nutritionists were telling us. I was going to 1 gram, 1.5, 2, 3, 4 grams per kilo of body weight. I think in Iran is by kilos. I don't know. Here it is. So 4 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. That was my standard. And then I filled in with my carbohydrates and fats as energy. But me being a bodybuilder and knowing that brain and muscles prefer glucose, carbohydrates as energy, I right away eliminated fats to a minimum, and I structured my carbohydrate diet throughout. And King knows very well that I was all about this hyperemia advantage, increased blood flow to the muscle when we are training, because all the blood is going to go to the exact muscle that we are training. So if I saturate that blood with everything I want, pre-digested state, amino acids, glucose, the creatine, glutamine, beta-alanine, all these supplements that make a difference, every time I lift, every rep I make is going to go straight there. And it's almost like having a nail and a hammer and nailing it into the muscle. I never read this anywhere. I confirmed with my father if that makes sense. He said that make very good sense, and that's what I started from very beginning. And mind you, I'm going to tell you this. I started 1981, September 18, 1981, my first workout, because I documented everything. I was that guy. Every gram of protein, carbs, and fat, everything was in my journals.
Let me stop you right there. Yes, folks, he documents everything. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Go ahead.
You see it in my house.
I saw it.
You see all these journals. Now I don't have all of them.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but absolutely, even the everything. Go ahead. Everything.
Yeah, and the reason why, for example, King, you were there, I wanted to show you so you feel even more comfortable, right? Many times people and coaches are speaking and people don't believe them, right? And it's a different thing when you see that I'm not just talking the talk and walking the walk, and this is the proof. I'm not going to lie to myself, making 10 meals a day, 365 days a year, and then for 10 years, and then present it to you, right? But for me, it was like this: be honest to yourself and inspect what you expect. If you're improving, beautiful. If you're not, change it.
There's something wrong.
And I was fortunate enough that right away I found that method of I'm going to say kill the muscle, okay, and feed the muscle and then rest. Back in the day, King, you and I don't know if it's Iran right now, but we train like a mad dogs, and we train twice a day, 6 days a week sometimes. I know
Absolutely.
you changed it because you train much heavier than me many times, but I was that guy. I averaged 550 workouts a year for 15 years straight.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
So, so
Well, another great Milos story to interject in here. These are the things that you and I have talked about in the years. You can elaborate on this. Nasser came to you, and he had no idea how to do the insulin and all that, and you showed him. And what did he say to you? Bullshit, bullshit. That's bullshit. Please tell that story. Tell the Nasser bullshit story.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you. So I have Amir, these are kind of these journals that I did back in the day, right?
Check
So
this out.
every day there's every meal, everything I take, and these kind of things. I go a little bit closer.
That's awesome,
Okay,
man.
and at the end you see how much protein, carbs, and fat. So 550 grams of protein, 450 grams of carbs, only 30 grams of fat, 4,000 calories, 550. 320, right? These kind of things. So not sure somebody is Yugoslavian, right? 1991, when I turned pro, I was beating him. 91, 92, 93. 93 at the FIBO show, he came to me with his wife, asked me if I would explain him certain things, and I explained him everything to a T. And King is going to confirm. I don't just tell you. I insist that you understand and that it makes sense to you, and then that I feel you're going to really do it. Because if I just tell you and I'm not convinced that you got it, it's not enough. But I told this to Nasser, okay, and left. 1994, he comes to San Diego to live in San Diego where I was. I invited him for dinner, and he came, and accidentally, I swear, my journal was on my dinner table. And then when he came in and, he said, oh, what is this? I said, my diary. And then he started flipping through it, and then he's looking at his wife and saying something in German. And I don't speak German, but I understand Arschloch. Arschloch means asshole.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a second, what are you doing? And so then Birgit, that was her name, Bisera, he converted her name into the Serbian name, Bisera, right? She told me, but Miloš, I have to tell you, everything you told us back in 1993, Nasser did exactly the opposite.
Damn.
Because he didn't believe that I would tell the truth. And then even now he says, yeah, you know that I'm coming, so you put this on the table. I'm serious.
That sounds exactly like Nasser. Exactly.
So I go to the room and I brought 10 more years. 10 more years, just like I showed to King when he came to my house. And so, okay, look, this is 10 meals a day. Nasser, you think that I'm going to write 10 meals a day, 365 days a year for 10 years straight because I knew that in 1994, Nasser or somebody, my competitor, is going to come here and I can pull the trick on you. Are you fucking crazy? Right? And that's when he realized, like, okay. But insulin, every time I did insulin, it make me fat. I say, of course it can make you fat. Depends what you do and how you do it. So January of 95, we were training partners. We train at the San Diego Golds twice a day, 6 days a week. And for anybody in Iran that don't remember this, so look at Nasser 1994 Olympia, and then look at him in the next show, 1995 Houston and Night of the Champions, which was about 6-7 months apart. That was probably the biggest improvement in the shortest period of time of all time.
Huge jump.
Wow.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, that's a Nasser story. And God bless his soul. I love Nasser. We all miss him. He was very special. Uh, I think he is uncrowd Mr. Olympia. I think that he really deserved it. That 97,
I do too.
there was no question. So it hurts me, but I always and only remember good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a legend for
Yeah.
sure. It's fascinating. Your story is so fascinating. You know, I love your mind. You're not thinking like everybody else, all the bodybuilder. And it's so detailed. I saw your program like many times with many different bodybuilder, and it's super detailed. And if somebody doesn't understand you, they can't have like see the benefit out of it. It's all about progressive, like that's what you're doing, right?
It's consistency, right? Something that works, you just continue. I mean, people would think I changed diets dramatically, So King mentioned that I was one of the guys that competed the most. At
Yep.
the time, I was absolutely nobody was even close. I did like 48 shows first 4 years, and then I mean, I was competing in every organized show because my theory in training was, and I know that King, you maybe don't agree with this. Sometimes you do want your off season, and do you want that heavy duty and all that stuff. I tried it 1 year and I didn't like it because I was just going for the purpose with Sonny Schmidt, with the purpose of just pack on the muscle, eat big to get big, and then I got a little bit fat. And then I realized when I was stripping off that fat, I catabolized my muscle also, and then I end up about the same. So I said, like, listen, as you guys know, I have tens of thousands of pictures. I was on the covers of the magazine all the time. I, I, I mean, nobody has more pictures than me on Instagram, right?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and I can show you here the 200 CDs that I have here that I still didn't go through. Okay. So I was saying, if you're a bodybuilder, you want to be in shape year round. When you're lean and when you move and shit is happening, right? That's a beautiful feeling.
It is.
When I watch many of the guys that go in off season, Nasser, somebody, one of them, that basically look like a fat pig. I mean, I'm sorry, right? And you don't even look like an athlete. You can't even breathe. You can't even bend over and stuff like that, right? I didn't like that. So 1 year I tried it and I decided not to. Instead, when you look at my nutrition programs, you know, after the contest, beautiful, right? You're lean, you have no body fat to lose. So there is no more fat burning phase of the days. I didn't, I have a maintenance phase and then I have an anabolic phase before training, right after training. Okay. So in that case, I can now eat up more. And every time that rebound phase post workout, post competition, I would grow. In the next show, I would be bigger, a little bit bigger, but consistently a little bit bigger. You know how they say insulin makes your stomach big. Did you see, that my stomach ever got big? From 1993 until 2003, I did it, pretty much every day almost, pretty much, and for every show and stuff like that. So I disagree with that off season because I always wanted to be in shape so I can do the guest posing, I can do the pictures for the magazine, and I could compete. In 3 calendar years, I did every show that was organized, absolutely everything. And that's why for my athletes, I always encourage them to do more and more and more. And now to mention right away, Behrouz, that it breaks my heart. From 2021, I prepare him for all these shows, for Olympias, and for a couple of others like Spain and Prague, and then he didn't get the visa.
Yeah.
And just imagine, I mean, he would be in contest shape, ready to go, waiting for the visa, and then he doesn't get it. And just to throw in that as well, another good friend of mine and my athlete, Iranian legend Reza Zinatlu, for example, also for him, the show that he turned pro, Hungary, right? He didn't get the visa until like Tuesday,
Damn.
and then he made it. And this is what normal people don't understand: what Iranian people are fighting with, you know. And King, you told me that long ago that there is so many Iranian bodybuilders that we don't even know the names. They can come here on stage and clean the house.
When I went to Iran, I went to all these, we call them Shahristans, all these little cities, and I was astonished. And they all put on posing clinics when I got there so I can see, you know, it was out of respect to me. They wanted to show me what they got. And I kept looking around and at my guy, the guy who was with me, you know, translating and hosting it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, these guys could win the NPC Nationals easily clean house at the NPC Nationals, at the USA. So he goes, yeah. And it was town after town. So when I got back and I went to RX Muscle, I did a show with Dave Palumbo. I said, Dave, there's about 15 to 20 Hadi Chupons running around. I'm telling you, the wave is coming. And guess what? The wave came.
Yes.
And we still haven't seen all the waves.
There's a lot going on in Iran. And the funny
big waves haven't come yet.
For sure. The funny thing is, these are small town king talking about, and they have no idea what they're doing. If you look at their program, it's so, you know, strange. They have no idea about the training, about the execution, about the nutrition. They're getting better, but it's all, you know, basic stuff. And about drug, you don't want to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not doing it 100%. Imagine what happened if they're doing it 100%. They get, you know, connected to the pro coach like you. It's going to be amazing, and the season going to be different for sure.
You know, I would love nothing more but that to happen, because when somebody works so hard, you want them to be rewarded. And I know just from mentioning Behrouz, as soon as I saw Behrouz, and actually Reza Zinotli is the one that made that connection. And so like, listen, I love his physique. I mean, hashtag bodybuilding, what I talk about, this is what we want to see on any bodybuilding stage. Oh my God, that shape, that's super small waist, you know, the crazy arms, everything. He needs to be recognized as the best bodybuilder in the world, or one of the best. I mentioned this before, I'm going to mention again. Hadi and Behrouz pretty much could have won every pro show they ever entered. They're going to call me a biased coach, but I'm not coach of Hadi. Why would I say that?
Right.
Every time when I've seen Hadi, he could have won the show, including the shows that he lost to Cedric McMillan in San Marino, the first Olympia. You were there, right?
Yeah.
You know, the last year from Samson, you know, it was super close, 1 point difference. Previous with Derek, you know, he should have go Hadi's way, and back and back and back and back. You know, when you look at it, Behrouz, he did a Romania 21, and he placed third behind Rafael and Samson.
That was close.
He clearly beat them. I mean, I was Samson coach also, and Samson just won Prague week before, but conditioning and beauty of the physique that he brought there, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how judges are looking, maybe newcomer and all that stuff. I'm not saying anything as far as politics, but you know, it's just in their minds, okay, you know, good, but not close enough. We're gonna give it to these guys. 2022, he won Romania in spectacular fashion. 23, he goes to Brazil, wins that. 23, he lost to Samson very closely in Romania. Upper body and conditioning beat Samson. And we talk about a little bit quads and so, yeah, this is where I could see him lose. But if he would have won, let me put it this way. At that time, I was, you know, preparing Samson, and Marlena, Samson's wife, was calling me like, oh, she's very concerned because she see Behrouz, how good he looked. I mean, he could have gone either way, right?
Right.
Behrouz losing to William Boniak that first show last year in that was Italy.
Yeah.
Or no, Spain. Spain, I disagree with. And then he won every other show that he ever competed. And I hope to God that he's going to make it to Olympia this year. And there's just show the Americans what beauty does he have. Pictures and videos are never going to do him a justice until you see him in person. And Amir and King, I don't know if you know, first time I've seen him was in Dubai. He came to my room when he stripped off, you know that moment, like when you really feel your heart drops. Like, I know your body and I know what you look like, but this in front of me was something else. Like,
Yeah.
holy hell. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
this.
The last time I felt that, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, was Victor Martinez in 2007. You know, when I saw his body stripped down, I was like, Victor, you could do this. I'm telling you, you might take him. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, Cutler. You know, I'm like, no, I'm telling you, Victor, you might do it, because he was that good. That's the last time I felt that. Milos, I want to keep you. You jump to all these things. I want to go back one step backwards. So you decided at one point you want to come to the United States.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So when you came here at that time, and I have to emphasize that time, United States was the mecca of bodybuilding. Okay. And everybody thought that, the whole world thought that. Okay. So what made you take that leap?
October 17. I'm crazy about the dates and all this stuff. I came for a Mr. Universe contest, right? So I'll tell you, let's go back a little bit. I've never been to any international show, right? When you're just in your backyard and you compete with your guys, you can't sense it. I start winning right away, Provincial shows and Serbian show and within a show, okay? Serbian show. So I wanted to test myself internationally. So there was a Italian European Championship 1987, and there was WBF Federation, that
World Bodybuilding
yeah,
Federation.
you don't really know. You don't even hear that. Yeah, IBB is most prestigious. I didn't really know, but there was some international contest. So I'm going to test the waters. I went there. There was a boat ride from a bar in Montenegro to Bari in Italy through the Adriatic Sea. The cheapest ticket, that you're on the top, all night. I got there. I didn't know. I didn't speak English. I didn't speak Italian. So I went there to compete, and put it this way, they would call like double biceps pose, dupli bicipiti, right? I had no idea what they were asking, but I was just looking what everybody else was doing, and I was doing the same pose. To make long story short, I placed second in a light heavyweight division at that show, and I actually lost to the overall winner from Italy that won overall show. And then president of federation from England came to me and started talking to me, and I didn't understand nothing, so I had some translator. He gave me invitation for Mr. Universe contest in Tucson, Arizona in
Nice.
October. Okay. So now here I am, right? Okay, president of federation, original invitation, all the shit. Like, okay. So I went home. I didn't think for a second that I could get a visa to go to America. I mean, here we go, right? Now, Behrouz is waiting for visa all this time. 1987, Yugoslavian people, communistic country, all that. There was slim chances. But this is sporting event. I went to the embassy. I said, I want to represent my country. This is the show. I got the visa. Now I got the visa that I didn't expect it, right? And I was in university. It's nutritional technology in Serbia, and I'm supposed to finish this, right? I didn't graduate it yet, but I have a chance to come to the United States, okay? And you're not going to get that chance often. So I couldn't tell my parents because they would not approve it. So I had to do it all on my own, and I had to make the money. How are you going to make the money? It's an expensive ticket and all that stuff, right? Standard of living was very low. But as I went to Yugoslavian Championship, I organized to do some guest posing, some commercials, some pictures with weights, and I made just enough money, and I bought a ticket, and that's when I told my parents I'm going to United States to compete, and they were super mad at me.
Hmm.
They figure out they're not going to give me any money, so I'm not going to be able to last, and I'm going to have to come back. Mind you, plus there was no one-way ticket. You could pay one-way ticket. I have a return ticket. So I had a return ticket, and that's what they were counting on. But as you ask, King, why did I go? I mean, epicenter of bodybuilding was, California.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so
Speech.
you have to go there, right? But at that time, I had zero clue about drugs in sports.
Oh, you
Yeah.
haven't
So
interviewed yet.
Uh, as a matter of fact, that magazine that I told you about with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover, when I opened it, there was something that I translated, and there was that picture of Arnold, you know, with the crazy arms, the black and white photo that he looks like a monster. No anabolics, right?
True.
And listen, I mean, I am type of guy. I'm naive. I want to believe. I wouldn't lie. So why would anybody else lie? Who? Arnold didn't do nothing, you know, for sure, for sure, for sure. And when I came to America, I placed sixth in the Miss Universe first year, and then I entered a couple of shows in California right away. I competed every week. You know, if it's a show, I'm doing it, and I was having my ass kicked. You know, and this was when I realized, okay, if I want to stay here and make a career in bodybuilding, I better do what big boys do. And
Mhm.
that's how I started in, late 87. I started doing it, of course. Right away, I had to research as much as possible. Then I have to see it medically, back up what is safe, what is not safe, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And I don't know if I can talk
You can
in
definitely
openly.
talk
Can
about
I?
the thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, King is going to tell you that also. We back in the day, when we were on, we were on. When we were off, we were off.
Absolutely.
And this is what nowadays people don't want to accept it. No, 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 we are
That's
lying.
who's, yeah.
Which, hold on, Milos, this is a great point that you're making right now, because previously, when you were just talking a couple minutes ago, you were talking about not getting fat, staying lean throughout the year, and all that stuff. The kids nowadays, they think you mean staying on stuff all year round. Please explain the difference
Yes,
between staying on stuff and cleaning out.
yes. So nutrition is one part, huge part of bodybuilding, and you should always eat only something that you want to integrate in your body. You don't put the garbage because garbage is going to go into the garbage. You don't want to be a garbage, right?
Correct.
So you eat clean. You put as much protein, you maintain the muscle, you build the muscle. And calories, energy, nutrients, you put according to what you're going to burn. Pharmacologically, it's easier to keep yourself clean and lean. Okay, so when you get off of pharmaceuticals, as King is saying, don't confuse the two. Okay, now you don't maybe have that fat burning effect and anabolic effect and all this stuff. You have to scale it down accordingly.
True.
But you watch and you look, you eat what is allowed and how much you need. As soon as I would see, okay, I'm getting a little bit loose and fat, no, 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 I have to back off. And for me, that was obvious choice. For many people don't, because idea of, oh, to get big you have to be just eat big and eat calories. I need that burger and fries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what is fries are going to do to you? Which part of the body you're going to build with the fries? How healthy is going to be? Which glycogen storage is going to be filled up with the that trans fat from fries? So I was not on that. But I have to say, we're all humans and we love certain foods. I would allow certain foods, but throughout the years, I learned to make a healthy recipes of buffalo burger, for example, right?
Mm.
I mean, sushi is a fish and rice anyway. I would choose right sushi. I was weak a little bit on pizza. I like pizza, but I
You
found
love pizza. What are you talking about?
yeah, things like that. You just really make every day count. Don't count the days. There is many people right after the contest. It's like dog off the leash. Okay, now I'm gonna just eat whatever and blow up. We mentioned Victor Martinez, Nasser or somebody. That will be like two guys that I know that within 4 days after the contest they can be 50 pounds heavier. Okay, Lee Priest maybe also. How healthy is this?
Yeah.
That's a weakness that you allow yourself to maybe close your eyes to. No, if it doesn't benefit you, don't do it.
So let me play devil's advocate really quick, because this
Yeah.
is what we do here. This is not, I like Dennis James. I love Chris Cormier, but they play these games with you when you talk to them, and they like to mess with you. I don't mess with you. We go straight to the root. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm watching, let's say I'm a 19, 20-year-old kid. I'm watching Sam Sulik eat ice cream, Rice Krispie treats, this and that. Rich Piana was doing Ben and Jerry's and this and that. Please explain to the kids the difference between what you just said and this constant barrage of social media of these up and coming stars and up and coming internet sensations and social media with their ice creams, with their Rice Krispie treats, with their boxes of cereal and all that. Please explain that.
Yeah, well, first, I love Sam Sulek, so I don't want to say absolutely
I'm not
anything.
saying anything about Sam in particular. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I love him by all means. But listen, uh, when somebody can get away with something, and that's what they're doing, right? It's just like jumping from a high-rise building, and it feels great when you're falling down until you hit the bottom. Right?
Yeah.
This is how it is. Getting away with it, cheating. Okay, the word cheating, it should not be allowed in your vocabulary. Why would you cheat yourself? Okay,
Right.
so the guys, what is in the ice cream? What is in the French fries? What is in all this garbage food gonna do to your body? Do you love yourself or you respect yourself? Your body is your self-respect. If you disrespect your body and put the garbage, don't blame it later, especially accumulation of few years of that. Then you're gonna see how it's gonna backfire when you're older. Uh, I'm gonna say this: bodybuilders are probably the most disciplined people, and sport would be the most disciplined if everybody does what they're supposed to. And then we have those guys that basically put us down, you know. And some other athletes would look, but didn't you see just Rich Piana say this and that, or yeah, but that's not the standard, and that's the material that they want to have a content and be interesting. And then,
Right.
do you really want other people to follow that advice? That's the wrong advice.
Right.
It should never, make it to the media, basically.
Right.
So, King, you know me. If I say something, I said every day, 3 o'clock in the morning, you can wake me up. I'm going to repeat because I believe it and I want to make a difference, positive difference. When somebody tells me, Milos, but I really crave something, occasionally I'm going to say, okay, have what you crave, get out of it. So it's not like I never allow, junk food. I mean, of course, but if you do it occasionally and it's for purpose of, you know, mental stability and I need it, go have it. Now just to throw that in, like if you like sweets, for example, or you like some fats, sweets I would have post-workout.
Right.
If it's post-workout sweet that doesn't have much fat, it's allowed. Why not? Dennis James back in the day, Gustavo Badell, Dennis Wolf, the Ben Pakulski, whatever. Post-workout, what do you like? Dennis liked pancakes and waffles, and Gustavo would like cookies, oatmeal cookies with dextrose and banana and dates yeah, okay. At that time, it's allowed. So if you have this pretty much after every workout, you don't crave it anymore, right? Now, fats, what kind of fats? Maybe okay, if you like burgers kind of stuff, buffalo burger or lean. I would buy the leanest meat, London broil cut. But I would ground it, and then you can ground beef with the turkey, and then make a patties. It's a beautiful goddamn burger. Why would
Right.
I need? You need the uh, French fries. Well, have a air fries with a ketchup and stuff like that. I would just always think I'm putting something in my mouth, where it's going to go, what is going to become. Do I want it or I don't want it?
For
Bottom line.
sure. You are what you eat. That's
Yeah, what
exactly
you eat.
true. And do you think all these influencer doing these things like for views, or they actually doing those things? They eating ice cream, they eating like whole gallon of milk and cereal and those kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't believe that Sam Sulek would like lie about it, and maybe when you're younger, when you're a teenager, you can pretty much get away with a murder. Okay.
Right.
So I'm sure, King, that you were eating big, and we could get away because we were active. Metabolism is boosting, your hormones are boosting, and maybe you can get away with it, right? But getting away with it, is this 100% beneficial,
No.
or you just get away with it? For me, is you can minimize, optimize, or maximize. If you compromise in any which way like this, you're not maximizing. I want to maximize, like here in these journals. Good day, I check. Good day, good day, good day, good day. I had maybe 2, 3 days a year when I wouldn't have a check mark.
That
I
consist.
fail myself because maybe I went out and wanted to eat something and stuff like that. But when you have that check mark security, I did my job.
True.
You're peacefully going to bed knowing that next day you're going to wake up better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the things that we have to factor in, especially for the Iranian people, Milos, you have to understand, we in America, cheat meals are hamburgers and French fries and hot dogs and nachos and Taco Bell. And Iranians go straight to Persian food for their cheating. That is the big difference.
Yeah.
That is why we can get, our bodies are different. Our chemical makeup, our metabolism, that's why we call the Persian conditioning. You go ask any Persian, you go ask Behrouz, what do you want for your cheat meal? If he was American, he'd probably say pancakes. No, he turns around and says orma sabzi, which is the most basic, foundational Persian food you can possibly eat, and it's good. It's organic. It's good. It's vegetables. It's meat. It's not processed death food like McDonald's.
You mentioned organic. It's very important. They eating food over there. It's super just organic, clean. But the thing we eat here, I don't really trust it, man.
But I tell you this, after he won Dubai Pro, we went for dinner, right? There was probably 40 or 50 Iranian people with us. It was the most beautiful thing ever. Of course, it was a Persian food.
That was a feast.
I loved, I mean, I don't remember when was the last time I ate that much, right?
They eat
And
so
of
Join
course,
the club. Join
yeah,
the club, my friend.
yeah, I mean, this is probably maybe about Persian food. You can have a little.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
It's impossible. So we were killing it, but the most memorable thing was uh, Behrouz was right next to me, and we were eating, and then he got the phone call. Boom, Hadi Chopin called him to congratulate him, and then to congratulate me, and it was one of those moments I'll never forget. That was the most beautiful thing.
Nice.
So yeah.
Milos, you shared the stage, which I believe, and I've said it 1,000 times, the 1990s. And I've sent you pictures all the time. Once in a while, I'll send you pictures, and I always say, what do I say under it? We'll never see this again. We'll never see this again. And you always come back with a very respectful comment. But and I know that we won't ever see that again. You competed against Yates, Coleman, Flex, Lavroni, Sean Ray, Paul. In your opinion, who was the toughest guy for you? Who did you look at as, I got to beat this guy?
Well, King, unfortunately, as you said that, and you can add Chris Cormier, and you can get Paul Dillette, you can beat
the
Reese,
whole
and
gamut
the
of
list goes on. Charles Claremont, I mean, Andreas Munzer, the list goes on and on and on. Unfortunately, and you see, this may be not going to sound too good. King, you have a winner's mentality, and I love that about you. You really believe you can beat everybody. I knew kind of my limits, when I've seen Flex Wheeler. I said that beautiful body is like flawless, like Jesus Christ. Like, can I really beat him? I was training to be the best I could be, but I knew that okay, he has advantage. Kevin Levroni, one of my favorites, right? Uh, I managed to beat Kevin once, actually, and I'm so proud of this. And then when I've seen the video afterwards, I said, "How in the hell did I beat him? I didn't deserve it."
You're too hard on yourself, man.
One of those things. Sean Ray, spectacular, right? This is a spectacular physique, smaller, but hashtag bodybuilding. And then you see the Dorian and Nasser and then Ronnie. I didn't really train to beat any of those guys. Believe me, people don't believe me this. I won 1 out of 72 shows. 71 time I was a loser. I never felt loser. I know
Right.
it's a little bit different mentality. In Iran, I know that you guys live for a victory and second place is the first loser. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
And I respect and appreciate it. I was not like this. I had fun being compared to all of those guys. And I was usually making top 5, top 10 at Olympia, right? Going to European Grand Prix Tour. Imagine just this. You sign up and you know that all those guys are going. And you know that best case scenario, maybe you can squeak into the top 5 and make $1,000 for 5th place, right? I wasn't doing it for the money. And I didn't care that I would have my ass kicked each of those shows. Every moment was priceless. I could tell you from the stage who was sitting there in the first row. I can tell you who did what. I could tell you when Nasser was dancing on a hot floor in Hungary because it was too hot. You couldn't even stand it. He was like, you know, any of those moments, you know. So I look at it a little bit differently. Yeah, I just wanted to be one of the guys. And I think if you make top 10 in the world, this is something special. So
Well, I consider you as one of the best.
For
You
sure.
competed in the 90s, which was, I don't care who likes to, I'm a little bit more forward than you are, but I'll say they'll turn around and say, oh, you guys are just, hating on us because of now. I was like, no, man, we were better. Just deal with the facts. You're never going to see a 2003 Ronnie Coleman again. You'll never see that again. You're never going to see a British Grand Prix. I think what year was that? 99. You're never going to see that again. When all of you guys, because I was still back a little bit, a couple of years, every single one of you peaked in one night, which you'll never see again. You'll never ever see that again. So I my respect way up. The flag goes way up. Okay.
just one second to tell Amir. Amir, please, as he mentioned it, find on my Instagram. It's pinned 99 British Grand Prix and post it when you're gonna do this, right? Because I was there with the Flex, Ronnie, and Kevin. You know,
Sure.
as you said, that's the time. Dexter was 5th. Okay, wait a second.
I'm putting it up right now.
No, I was 5th. So Ronnie won. Yeah, look at that. Ronnie won. Flex was 2nd. Cannon was 3rd. Dexter was 4th. He beat me by a couple of points. I was 5th. And then Nasser 6th. Marcus 7th. And the list goes on. But those are those monsters, right? And like you said, everybody peaked. So I'm going to European Grand Prix Tour knowing that all these guys are competing. And can I tell you, Amir and King, this is a time they say, okay, I have 0 to lose. I carb up like a maniac for 7 days. And this is the biggest, fullest I've ever been.
I can
Look
see
at
it.
that.
For
They're
sure.
going to say, oh, you photoshopped that photo. I actually had to call Gary Phillips and say, can you please send a bunch of those photos so people realize that I didn't Photoshop.
Right.
I look like a monster.
Oh man, these pictures.
Yeah, the 99 Grand Prix, British Grand Prix, this picture speaks for itself. You're talking, that's why I keep saying you never see this again. Small waists, extreme, crispy, as Chad Nichols would say, crispy conditioning, beautiful lines, sweeping quads. I mean, this is bodybuilding. That you look at this picture and you say to yourself, what the fuck? That's it. That's what I would look at in the magazines and say to myself, my God, I have to compete against this one day. This is crazy. But again, British Grand Prix 99, unfucking believable. Milos,
Yeah.
you finished. You finished competing. You took your posing trunks. You nailed it to the wall. You hung it up. You did like the UFC guys. You left it in the ring. You stepped off stage, and what pushed you to coaching? You were already coaching anyway, because I remember me competing at the Nationals. You were backstage with Dennis and all this stuff. So what made you want to say, okay, it's time to go to that next level of coaching?
Well, listen, for me, it was always like this: share the knowledge, make a difference, right? They're all my brothers of iron. I mean, put it this way: that story about Nasser somebody, okay, he didn't want to take my advice because I was competing with him on the stage. So he would not believe that I could sincerely help him beat me in a contest. Okay, and that's exactly what happened. I prepared him for that Houston Night of Champions. That he beat me in the contest. So there was that concept that a lot of people would not be trustworthy enough, right? But I was doing this all the time, and King, so many of those people I would do it for free. It was because I want to help, I want to make a difference. But then it came to the point that okay, now it's stupid, to commit all this time to this, and I don't make a money. I have to make a living, so I start coaching because this is nothing better than seeing somebody fulfill that potential.
It's amazing.
That change that Nasser had first year, right? Dennis was talking today, hour ago, how 99 he showed up at the Night of Champions and he believed he's gonna win the contest, be in the first call out. He ended up in the fourth call out and placing 14th, and he was really backstage saying, "Okay, I quit. I quit." And then I came to him and said, "Dennis, you have a phenomenal body. Shut the fuck up. Let me help you." And I sent him all this info. Back in the day, it was uh, fax. You send him 20. He would say he ran out of paper. How much shit I was sending him, right? And then he showed up 2000 at the Arnold Classic, looking crazy. He gained 40 pounds in a short period of time, right? Then came Gustavo Badel that was placing nowhere in 2003, right? And then turned around in 2004 and five to top three at Olympia, right? So seeing this is gratifying, even if those people, don't respect enough to give me a credit. You see, there's many top pros actually, King, that even you don't know that I help them. Uh, They don't say it, I don't say it. Okay.
Yeah, it's disrespectful, man.
No, but I don't
Really
say it.
hard.
On the other hand, now when you look at Behruz, every single post he puts the best coach in the world. And thank
Oh,
you. I mean, so there's differences, but I didn't do it for the money. I didn't do bodybuilding for the money because there was many other things you could make more money. Back in the day, as Dennis would say, we did it if there was free, we would do it, right?
Right.
Of
right.
course, now when you can make this money, especially now, 750,000 Arnold, 600,000 Olympia, 140 Dubai show, right? Even as I'm telling the crews, you're here at the perfect time.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
best.
because now you can actually cash in and live beautifully with this. That was not my case. If I count all the prize money I ever made, it wouldn't pay for my grocery grocery bill. You know what I mean?
Milos, on this subject right here,
Mhm.
in your opinion, do you think that these newer generations, the newer kids, are lazy now because they have access to you, to me, to professionals? Because that's the trend that I'm seeing. I didn't have anybody. I had the magazines. I had to go read books. I had to experiment until I met Amin. Crazy ass Amin. Then when I met Amin, he's like, no, 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 let me teach you this, and then I started to put two and two together and go. But now it's just one guy. A kid can just email you or me or whoever it is, and then pay the money, and then get. Because I've noticed that they don't respect it. It's different now. Like if you don't contact them every day, if you don't hold their hand and walk them through, they'll come back with an email saying you're not helping me. And I literally every time I smack myself in the head, thinking to myself, I had to send Polaroids to Chad Nichols, FedEx it to him so he can see what I look like, and then he would call me up and say, "Okay, I want you." We had to take Polaroids and FedEx them.
Yeah,
And they're complaining about not being. What do you think? What are your
yeah.
thoughts on that?
That's what Jake Halter was doing with Chris Aceto. Just the same story that you said. Well, King, I'm self-taught bodybuilder, and back in those times, nobody really had a coach, and you didn't have a coach, right? And many Iranians, Amir, just like you said, many Iranians are doing it themselves and learning along the way. Do I think that everybody needs a coach? No, I like you to explore for yourself that, make sense, inspect what you expect, you're going in the right direction, learn and apply. And if you learn and it makes sense and you apply and you get results, you're going to go a step further. And that's what we did. That's what you did, King, and you look tremendous. And then, of course, Amin helped you and Chad Nichols, and so and now you are helping everybody else. And is this place for the coaches like you and me? Yes, it is. Would I call them lazy? Not necessarily, because they have it available. We didn't have it available. Okay. Right. And I'm going to say, do you necessarily need a coach? No. I like to give a consultancy. Like, okay, you can call me half an hour, 1 hour, and I can tell you so much that you don't really need me. Like I said, hold the hand. Or, I'm going to tell you this. I lost many clients like this because they were okay, but you didn't send me a new program. I mean, what do you mean new program?
Oh,
No,
what do you mean a new program? I was in the same program for 30 years. I mean, Behruz's, similar meals, you just bump up a little bit and all that stuff, looking. You say, oh, but now I want to change this. And then I realize what they're doing, they're coaching themselves and they want to learn that way. So if I change their programs constantly, so they can apply and give it to the other clients. There is not too many coaches out there nowadays that I didn't coach in one way or another, and I don't mind. You say it, you say it. You don't say it, you don't say it. And a lot of people are not agreeing with my principles. I think that my principles are very sound and I can explain them 10,000 times over. Could it be, differentiated a little bit? Of course. As Bruce Lee said, observe everything, accept what is useful, discard what is useless. Create your own.
Awesome.
And most of my thing, as I told you initially, I got from my father. He made perfect sense for me, many things. You don't want to be catabolic. You always want to be anabolic. Why would you really break down and kill your muscle, just to initiate the growth? You can initiate many other ways. And I see now, you see, King, you were that hardcore to the failure, die under the sword, right? And that's beautiful, yeah? Until what my father told me back in the day, wait until you're 40 and 50, and then you're going to realize what you did to all your joints and bodies, and we understand that. So now that I'm 61 years old, I just had a hip replacement two weeks ago, right? And many joints affected. I tend to tell my guys, okay, back off a little bit, right? Stimulate, don't annihilate, like
Lee
Henny would say. And one thing that stick to me, so clearly, it's Bill Pearl. I don't know if I told you that story. We were talking about this failure, and Bill Pearl was. Let me ask you this: why would you want to fail in anything? And I like logical questions, and I would always like to have an answer to the logical question. And I find myself that I don't have a logical answer. You made your point.
Yeah, in my own personal opinion, this is my own personal experience. When I train heavy, I see a difference. I literally see a difference the next day. It's not feel. See, a lot of people don't understand. Feeling is feeling. I understand what feeling. Okay, but I see it. I used to see it, and I remember one time it was at the Arnold Classic, I believe, or the Arnold, and Jay wasn't at his best, and I think maybe it was the year he lost to Dexter. He asked me. He goes, "My back was smaller, wasn't it? It was downsized," and I said just a little bit. He goes, "Yeah, I got to go back to heavy." So it's like, when you train heavy, that's what was pounded in my head. That you got to go heavy, 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 heavy. Now, at the same time, I get what you're saying. I came and I trained with you, and I learned a lot when I came and trained with you. You know what I'm saying? Those giant sets were crazy. But what did I tell you? I said, I will never quit. I would die and you would bury me 6 feet underground before I quit. That's not my personality. And you love that about me. And you're like Hida. You remind me of Hida because Hida was the same way. He wouldn't quit. I get it though, but at the same time, you have to make that turn and that decision. I call it the Roy Jones effect. You did everything. Okay. Then at the end, you got to back off, because then you're just going to go and hurt yourself and you get messed up. And he got knocked out. And he goes, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I backed off, Milos. I did. I went back and I said, okay, Milos said giant sets, reps, volume, do a little bit more. Stop front squatting 405. You're destroying your every. And I did. I backed the fuck off. And guess what? I feel a lot better.
Well, you mentioned Jay 2000. That was 8 Olympia. Yeah, 2008 when he lost to the Dexter, right? Jay never went to the failure in anything. Yeah, you can go heavy, and that's why I would tell you, I don't mind you go heavy, but those reps in the reserve, right, so to speak, don't push it until you're at the point that now you don't know what is going to go, you know? So I'm sure it feels great feeling that heavy weight. Oh my God.
It does.
It does. You know, so the only thing that I can say that I really went heavy was my quads because I felt that power and I wanted it. And that's how I blew up my quadricep tendon, exploded, you know, doing 10 plates on each side on the hack squats. But, you know, you feel the power. So I understand it's a manly feeling. And I'm going to say this about Hadi because I love Hadi so much. And I've seen some scary heavy.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I don't want to say anything in a bad way because that impress us as a man, of course. How can it be not impressive? But the margin of that risk, it's like so. Okay. So the only thing that can stop Hadi is injury.
Right.
You know, only thing that can stop Samson, I told him back in the day, do not risk if it's not necessary, right? Do extra set, do extra volume, you know, come close, but don't go overboard. Look, any heavy duty guy that I know had a tears up and down, starting from Dorian to anybody else that I know. You know, because Amir, and I know maybe for my Iranian brothers of iron, it's great to go super heavy. Yeah, it's great. But what do you think that if you don't fail, if you stop like a couple of reps before the failure, that load didn't go on the same muscle and it would create a difference? Like you said, King, you love that feeling, and next day you know that you grew. And I can understand that. But when you go so close to failure, how can you feel good about the tendon load that you put your tendons on and ligaments?
Yeah.
And then next day you're going to go again, and next day you're going to go again, and a month and year from is going to happen.
What I learned from you, the biggest thing that I learned from you is if I want to put 8 plates on each side on the hack squat and go 8 reps and yell and scream, and you know we've all seen the video, the massive then you would take 4 plates off and said, go slow.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I learned from you.
Difference.
That because that's what I do now. I push, like if I see a jackass in the gym and I see that they're trying to show off, I'm like, hey, can you do one set my way? Just do it my way. No. And I take half the weight off, and they're like, oh man, I'm much stronger than that. 99.9% of the time, they can't finish it.
Yep.
They can't do it. And it's that I got from you more than anything else. I'm like, okay, I just did the 8 plates. I'm going to go down to 4, but I'm going to take a 7-second negative and come up and squeeze 7 second. And that extra 4 reps like that is what separates the men from the boys, the amateurs from the professionals.
You see, now that you say this, you have to enjoy your pain. You have to love the pain.
As you say, search for the pain.
You like to say that. Exactly. Yeah. Because as soon as you start any exercise for any muscle, the first realization of you're doing that muscle is pain in that muscle. So as soon as possible, you have to establish that pain. And then once you feel it, okay, you know that muscle is working. Now intensify muscle pain. And that's why I say, if you just go for a super heavy weight, right, you can't really focus just on the muscle. You have to focus on just saving your life and pushing that sucker up.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a huge difference between bodybuilding and weightlifting. You got to mechanically load the weight into the tissue and execute it right. Get the most contraction out of it. Get the stretch at the bottom. I really love your mentality, man. And I want to dive in your bodybuilding philosophy. You're very big on like giant sets. You became famous for giant sets. This is a system whole entire bodybuilding world know you for right now. And explain to us what's the giant sets and why they're so important. Like blood flow is amazing, shocking the muscle is just unbelievable, and metabolic stress is amazing. What's giant sets?
Wait just 1 second because my battery is dying.
All right.
Okay, I just noticed. Thank God. So here it is. In short, people think that I'm only about the giant sets. There are two different types of hypertrophy. One is myofibril hypertrophy, and one is sarcoplasmic. Myofibril would be go heavy or go home, heavy duty, progressive overload, right? So
Right.
people think that I don't do that. I always do couple of exercises in heavy duty manner. Okay, I do this. But after that, I realized sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, pump. Pump is hypertrophic. And so you can pump your muscle with a lighter weight or with a supersets, or the drop sets or giant sets. So giant set is 4 different exercises, back to back to back without any rest. And I love that because I can just tweak the angle a little bit and the grip a little bit and reach the muscle fibers of the same muscle that you're not necessarily, including in this first exercise, but now you a variety second, third, fourth, and you can get crazy pump. If you remember, I said don't minimize, optimize. I like to maximize. So if I do maximize heavy duty myofibril, I just told the king I can freely allow myself to go maximal heavy because I know that now I can affect my joints, ligaments, and tendons, and not just muscles. Okay. So this is one thing that I back off a little bit. But here in a sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, lightweight, it's all only about pump. I do want to go maximal, crazy. I was putting King to some crazy giant sets, almost to the point. Okay, I want to, I want to really bring him to failure. I constructed something that I don't think it's possible to finish, and then he would finish, and that's when you gain all the respect, right? It's like that mindset. I'm not gonna quit no matter what you put me through.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how I would like, if I understand correctly, a lot of Iranian people do still heavy duty, heavy duty. Okay, that's one part, one equation of a muscle stimulation of that muscle that you're training today. Now, I tell you this: try to achieve the greatest pump you ever had in that muscle group every time you train. Just like when you're maximally pumped, you're going to be on the stage at Olympia with Hadi Chopin and Behruz Tabani, right?
Right.
So super heavy doesn't give you pump, okay? So if somebody is just going heavy, 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 okay, you get some, but no, no, no. When you pump your muscle, when there's that, muscle pushing to the skin and veins are going through, and it's like just like, oh my God, this is where I learned. And I tell you, how did I learn that also? 92 European Grand Prix Tour. I was watching Thierry Pastel and Mohamed Benaziza training, right? And goddamn, they were doing giant sets, back to back to back to back to back to back. And you are in European Grand Prix Tour. We were traveling in 7 different countries in 7 different weeks. It's not like later when we did the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows. This was like this. So I'm traveling with them and watching them. And it's like, God damn, okay. And Benaziza was pound for pound monster, right? And when you look at Thierry Pastel, that many people don't know who he is, he was spectacular bodybuilder. I think he would dominate 212 back in the day. But he was just
Or classic, or
a
classic.
classic. Yeah, it's phenomenal physiques. And then I would see the value of the pump, right? And there are some people, King, I don't know if you like to pump much for the stage. I like to pump much for the stage, and I look like a completely different person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it, Mike Morris, I remember he did some interview there's on YouTube. He saw me in my last contest, 2003 in Hungary. He says, Milos is not even competing. Look at him. He looked like a normal guy. And then after I pump and step on the stage, like, I all of a sudden look like a pro bodybuilder, you know? So I would like that super pump, but I would achieve that pump every time in the gym. I don't know if you guys see my video I did in January for like my 61st birthday. And I promised to God, I never look at my physique for a long time. And then I went into the posing room and said, let me just tape it. I was pumped like maniac and I looked great. But I would always go after the pump. If you remember Arnold at the pumping iron, he was equating pump to coming.
Yeah.
So Amir, just to tell you like this, I would like if any listeners in Iran can at least do like one giant set that they're going to pick the exercises, they can isolate the muscle, feel the best, and squeeze, pump to the point they're going to feel like they're going to explode.
Yeah.
Right?
They
And
just
leave
need
it at that.
yeah. They just need basically to just chase the pump, right? And is it gonna be a finisher or kind of pre-exhaustion? What
Yeah,
do you like the best?
finish it, because even though I would mix and match, listen, be open-minded, create your own. I would sometimes start with a little giant set like for muscle activation and for warming up, and then go something heavy. I did also, somebody asked me in one of the seminars, but can you do as a one exercise in a giant set super heavy? And I said, it never crossed my mind. But I said, like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And I like it. I would do some like pre-exhaustion first and then super heavy. And then, a couple of more just squeezing ones. So the sky is the limit. Listen, there is no my way is better than yours. But it's just like, what are we going after? Heavy duty stimulate myofiber hypertrophy? Do it. Check mark. Pump. Oh, you didn't do pump. Why don't you do the pump? Don't you want to go for a pump? There is no better feeling in a muscle than when muscle is fully pumped. So don't skip any workout without crazy pump. And
Mills, one thing that I like to do is once in a while, I like to put on my cleats, go to a hill, and do sprints up the hill for quads. And I can't walk for 10 days afterwards. Do you recommend stuff like that too?
hell yes.
Okay.
Hell yes. Hell yes. I mean, we are creatures of habit and monkey see, monkey do, and we always do the same things, but I didn't try to be different for the sake of being different, right? Because Arnold's every body part, chest would be incline, flat bench, flies, cable cross, dips. And back would be pull downs, pull over, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So why not change the angle a little bit, change the tempo a little bit, peak contraction a little harder, stuff like that. I don't know if I should say that. Probably not. Okay, I'm going to skip that one because it's not proper for Iranian people. Yeah, I'm going to skip that one. But be open minded. Apply everything. These kind of things up the hill, down the hill. Listen, when I was in judo, we did the frog jumps up the hill with the 10-kilo bag. So
Killer, absolute killer.
And like you said, you can't walk for a week afterwards.
Can't.
Yeah.
Milos, that was a great. I hope to God people start
eye-opening for sure.
especially the Iranians, about the giant sets and the pump and all that stuff, because that is imperative. And like I said before, I used your techniques all the time. When somebody in the gym nowadays starts to guest pose in the gym, I'm like, come on, man, just do it my one time, just do it my way, which is actually Milos's way.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get to the most controversial, and you don't have to get into too much detail in this, Milos, but the name Milos Sārchev is it's like built in. It's like apples and oranges. It's not like, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Insulin and nutrient timing. That's what people associate you with. Please just touch on the basic ABCs of the insulin and how important it is, and why do you think it's important, and is the risk worth what really happens?
Yes. First, I'm going to say this. It's not much risk if you know what you're doing. And I mentioned this before. If I give you the gun and you know how to use it, it's not risky unless you're stupid enough, right? And kill yourself, right? So insulin, if you understand how to control it, it can be your best friend, not your worst enemy or dangerous. The risk of insulin is going in hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, that can be dangerous. And that's only due to your incompetence and not doing what you're supposed to. If you inject the insulin, this is like a poison. I used that analogy 20 years ago. It's a poison that's going to kill you if you don't do anything. So you have to have an antidote. An antidote is amount of carbohydrates that is equivalent to amount of insulin that you use. So if you maintain glycemia in the bloodstream, when insulin, pharmacological insulin is there, you are super safe. Nothing can happen. Why insulin? Insulin is anabolic hormone that inserts nutrients into the cells. Diabetics that type 1 that don't have insulin, don't produce insulin, are going to die without injecting the insulin because nutrients cannot go into the cells. So this is the basic that, okay, it's an anabolic hormone. It stores everything everywhere, okay, in all the tissues, all the cells. So if I want to be smart about it, anabolism is what I want. I want anabolic. And I want to store only good nutrients in a good place, which is muscle. Then I have to time it. Then I have to realize that whatever, if this is now the bloodstream, okay, and we put amino acids and glucose and all the supplements and also fat, fatty acid triglycerides, right? And I inject insulin into this bloodstream, okay, insulin is going to take everything out and store it. Everything. It's not selective. Whatever is here is going to be stored. Amino acids. Oh, yeah. We want amino acids and glucose and creatine, beta-alanine, citrulline, L-carnitine, blah, 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 push into the muscle cells. Okay. Not in the fat cells or in other different tissues, right? So, how am I going to do that? Okay. If, as Nasser was saying, he was getting fat because he has too much triglycerides in his bloodstream due to his poor diet, he inject insulin, and insulin is not selective. Take aminos and glucose, beautiful, and triglycerides and stores it. He got fat. What happened if there is no triglycerides in the bloodstream?
Very high carb.
And then you time it and you use specific fast-acting insulin that's very predictable, Humalog, that have in 15 minutes is onset, starts working. It peaks 45 to 75 minutes later, okay, strongest action, and it's out 3, 4 hours later. So now we have a super transporter potency of something not yours, super physiological amount of storage hormone, taking all the nutrients that you saturate your blood with before the workout. You time it. I was timing, as you know, 45 minutes before the workout. And then I would take my pre workout supplementation. And then when I go to the gym now, Amir, you and I have about 10% of our blood in the muscle right now.
Right.
If you can go train, 60, 70% of our blood is going to be in the exact muscle that we are training.
True.
So if I saturate that blood and now I start moving it into the muscle, every muscle contraction opens the cells, insulin shoves it in. So right now, your insulin is doing dramatically much more because it's pharmacological and supraphysiologic, more than your body would ever do it, and push it into the cells. Oh my God. And then you have a Nasser somebody blowing up 45 pounds in a month, and Dan is 42, and Marcus Rule 40 something, and Gustavo, and all these people. That can happen, So I've seen some YouTube people. Oh no, I don't believe in insulin. It doesn't do nothing. It's not anabolic. And okay, you can give me all your scientific studies from bullshit. You know, the 1 gram of practice is heavier than ton of theory. we've done it, we know it. It's just like how you do it and if you control it. So yes, I think it's very valuable tool. Do I necessarily, you say that everybody has to do it? No, and some people don't feel comfortable with, and by all means, you don't have to do it. And if you ask me, back in the 90s, 90% were doing it. King, each and everyone, some people would not admit, but we know. And Ronnie and Flex. And I mean, you were with Chad Nichols, so you know.
So you just brought up the 90s, which takes us to the next subject. That was perfect, by the way. Perfect.
That was amazing.
Perfect. Bodybuilding looks a lot different now. Excuse me, a lot different from the 90s than it does now. What's the biggest change between the 90s and today? Why this change to spongy, from crispy to spongy?
Yeah, from crispy to spongy. And you
Isn't
say
it insulin?
Because now, yeah, I mean, now everybody says, oh, because of the insulin. But we used to do insulin. So what changed? What makes, I mean, like people look at Kevin Levrone versus, I'm not saying he looks bad. I'm just saying that, like, let's say Nick Walker. He looks like a humongous, gigantic, walking, mutacious muscle, but he doesn't have that graininess. What's the change? What's it? Or even a Martin Fritzwater.
That's a good example.
Yeah, it looks like a sponge compared to the graininess of, let's say, the Dexter or Kevin Levrone or this. What happened?
Yeah. Well, first, you mentioned this yourself many times that they're going to hate us for it because they're not going to agree.
Fuck.
That
They're going to respect your opinion.
We were training harder back in the day. We were dieting harder, right? We earned the muscle, Here, just for you to understand, because you're young, maybe you don't know. Back in the 90s, everybody was doing insulin. I mean, when you talk Ronnie Coleman, right? And I'm going to say, I'm sure that Ronnie would not mind me saying it. 1998, Night of the Champions, okay? My wife gave a birth to my daughter. I didn't supposed to go to that show, but because now she was early, I could go. So I just, on a 2 weeks notice, I went to the Night of the Champions. And Vicky Gates, girlfriend of Ronnie, she knew that my wife can't go. So she said, if you need me to bring you, all the food, I can, I love Vicky. So,
she was sweet, very sweet.
Very sweet. So I said, like, why not? Okay. So I went there and she knew my carb up and all that stuff, right? So she bring me the food in a bag and gave it to me, right? And about 15 minutes later, she calls me, oh, yes, man, I gave you the wrong bag. This is Ronnie's bag. I said, okay. But then when I opened the bag, there was 9 preloaded insulin needles. Okay, so you know what that means. And that's Ronnie Coleman, 98, looking crazy. That was Night of Champions. He beat Kevin before he won Olympia 98. And then you know what happened, 99.
Well, I mean, you say that. I don't mean to cut you off. You say that, but now, like, the hot trending thing is Kevin saying, yeah, he came into my room and we did shots of vodka together.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's the vodka that changed. No, it's not.
That's a trick, right?
But
it's not the vodka, people. Explain that, Milos, please.
I mean, King, you were doing it yourself and you knew each and every one of those guys. Okay, maybe somebody was not on insulin all the time, but for sure they tried it and they experimented. Now listen, some like it, some don't. I gave it to Dorian, and Dorian talked on the RX muscle and explained, yeah, he got the plan from me and all this stuff, and he didn't particularly like it, okay? But I was sharing my knowledge, and you apply how you want to apply it. But make no mistake that back in the 90s, we didn't do the insulin, and maybe that now, they are soft because of it. I don't even know if many people do insulin nowadays, but quality is just not the same. Training is probably not the same. Now, I'm going to say this because I'm talking to Iranians. Iranians are rock hard, okay? When I compare Iranians to back in the 90s, yeah, Hadi and Behrouz would fit in the 90s super easy, right?
Yep.
And then Baito and many other guys, right? So now that we are on Iranian podcast, not an American podcast, an European, yeah, Iranian guys train just as hard, diet just as hard, and maybe even harder
Even
than,
harder sometimes.
yeah. The rest, I don't, and they hate me for it. They hate you for it. They just don't train that hard, and they don't um, eat like we did. It was
Thank
That's a
you.
big part. That's
That's
what
a
we were
strict
talking about.
dieting, and I remember you said a story that I talked to Fairfax before. Fairfax was checking your condition, and even though you think you're lean, ripped, striated, he told you, "No, you're a fat ass. Go back and do do your."
It was so hard. It was so mentally and psychologically such damaging. But I realized at the end it was worth it, because he would look at me and he'd be like, absolutely no expression on his face. He's like, yeah, you're not ready. They're going to kill you. You're not even close. And I'm like, oh my God, man. And Chad was the same way. He was. I would send him pictures and he would just look at it, and it was the same thing every time on the phone. Yeah, you look all right, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. I was like, my God, man. What do you have to do? That's why we pushed and pushed and pushed.
You want that approval, and you think you are good enough, right? I think, and then they tell you you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
So I really think that's the case nowadays. Many guys get satisfied with that. Listen, muscle have to be fibrotic. You have to have every goddamn muscle fiber in the most muscular pose, like Hadi, like Behrouz, right? Nowadays, I mean, look at the shows. They do the most muscular. You don't see a single fiber.
Right.
You don't see a single fiber on adults. You don't see the feathers on the quads. I mean, how can you think that this is finished product?
Yeah. Yeah. No, without a question. Without a question. Okay. Moving on, man. We got to go to part 5. This is a controversial one.
Yes.
I don't mean to throw this at you, but you know I was going to do it. You know me and Amir were going to do this to you. There's been issues between you and Samson. Okay. We got to talk about Samson. All right. I just need you to clear it up for everybody. One of the 2 things I want you to clear up is there's rumors going around that Samson reached out to you. Samson reached out to you and said, hey, what's going on? Can you help me? This and that. Please clarify it for all the Iranians and the whole world. What's going on between Milos Sārchev and Samson Dauda right now?
Yeah. Okay. Well, he did reach out to me, but not to help him. I mean, by all means. So let's not confuse those 2 things. He just realized what I did for him and for his career, and they miss me as a friend, as a good person that I was. I mean, I would, as you guys know, I would kill and die for my guys, because loyalty is loyalty, right? And yeah, it was heartbreaking because we didn't deliver the package that he was hoping was going to win the Arnold Classic. And he was going against best Hadi Chopin ever
He was the
that
best. For
that
sure.
year, right?
Yes.
And there was that discrepancy, of course, when you look at the 300-pound, beautifully shaped hashtag bodybuilding bodybuilder like he is. I think he has a better shape overall than Hadi.
True.
I would say that. But Hadi had so much quality, hardness, and completeness that, okay, how can you beat him? It was conditioning was clearly on Hadi's side. I wanted to improve his conditioning. And what can you do in a matter of 24 hours? You can make him lose body fat. You can only make him lose some water, right?
Correct.
So I was telling him this: for this kind of Hadi, you're going to need to be considerably drier. And I would suggest him to do something that he didn't feel comfortable, obviously. And I don't blame him. Him and his wife, again, they would think that, oh, this is like pushing, and they didn't feel comfortable with. And that was the basically what break our relationship. He didn't really agree with me on that one, and he basically decided to stop working with me.
Which brings us to now, which is the conundrum that it hits every coach and every bodybuilder. Everyone's been complaining about Samson's conditioning. He finally brings conditioning, and now everyone says, he's too small. He lost way too much size, blah, blah, blah. How do you balance that out as Milos Sarchef, as someone who I still think you created him, you made him who he is, a whole world knows that too. What do you think is happening right now? Because right now, 50% of the people, I'm one of the other 50% saying, yeah, he looks fantastic. I've never seen his hams and glutes like this. Yeah. He looks very, very tight, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he sacrificed, but this is bodybuilding. When you sacrifice a size, you get conditioning. When you sacrifice conditioning, you get size. You're trying to get it in the middle. So where do you see it? What's going on in your brain right now?
Okay. Okay, let's first enjoy this guest posing.
Talk through it for what you see. What are your eyes seeing?
It's unbelievable. Look at that muscle control and abdominal control. This is what I told him, that Hadi brought it Arnold Classic, mastery of presentation and keeping the vacuum in and stomach glued to the spine, separated all over. and Samson realized, and he's bringing exactly this right here. Look at mastery of posing, not a single mistake. All the angles are there. So he knew that he lost the contest on conditioning. We just touched that subject before, back in the 90s and now. And what did we say? They don't suffer enough.
Correct.
And unfortunately, he was pleased with what he looked like. He didn't know that next level, and he didn't suffer enough. And he's suffering now, and he knows that he needs to get to that next level of fibrotic, super thin onion skin to be able to beat somebody like Hadi Chupan. Hadi lost by 1 point, I think, at last year's Olympia. This is how close it was. So Samson losing to Derek at Arnold realized that, okay, he has the best body, he has a beautiful shape, hashtag bodybuilding, everything is there, nice round muscle bellies, tons of size. So he needs to bring that crisp conditioning, okay? Did he lose the size? I mean, like I said, people can always point at something. Imagine him even leaner, even drier, and then fill up a little bit. He's going to be formidable. Does he need to be 300 pounds on stage? He can be 280 and ripped, and he's going to look more than 300 pounds.
Yeah. And I say this example all the time to people. I said the best Jay ever looked, ask Jay, is 248, right?
Yes.
248 was the best Jay ever looked. And you would never think 248 when you see Jay Cutler and how wide he was and those legs. But ask him yourself, Jay, which weight did you look the best? He'll say, yeah, 248. That's when I was at my absolute peak. So where do you think if everybody comes in at 100%, what do you see happening, Milos? What does the mind of Milos say right now?
It's going to be a dog fight between Hadi and Samson. Dog fight. I said at the beginning of the show that Hadi could have won every pro show that he ever entered, and when people discount him, okay, maybe he doesn't have a most beautiful shape of Samson. Really? And then you look at him. Shut the lights off and look at the silhouettes, right? Hadi has formidable silhouette, V-taper, X-frame, boom. Then you turn the light, and he shines when the lights are on because of the density and hardness, and holy hell, right?
Yeah.
From the back, Hadi still needed to improve to be like untouchable, because I think Derek beat him from the back, right?
True.
I don't agree with Derek beating him in that 2023 Olympia, but that's just my opinion. And they're going to say I hate on Derek. No, I love Derek. Great guy. I'm just truly...
It's your opinion.
Without a filter, I'm assessing physiques. When I was saying before about Samson, I was biased coach, right? And now I'm not coaching him, and I never coached Hadi. And I say Hadi could win every show that he ever entered. I see a dog fight, and then when they stand next to each other, then you're going to realize his quality of Hadi is still way better than Samson, right? Mind you, I'm going to tell you, back in the day when I worked with Samson said, like, I'm not going to beat Hadi on conditioning, but if I'm close enough, that's enough.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't enough, right? And he was not close enough. And I think that now he knows, and we've seen the pictures and video from a week ago, that face already.
So my assessment is this. Let me know if you agree with me or not.
Mm-hmm.
From the front, all shots go to Hadi. From the side, too much mass, too much size, Samson. From the back, it's a toss-up depending on which Samson shows up. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah. And you said that last year, and I agree with you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Samson is devastating from a side because he's so thick.
He's thick. He's just
Very
just big. Yeah.
And that's one thing that Hadi had the super striated hard muscle in chest, but chest is not really full from the side view. And Samson's is ballooned up, goddamn, oh my God, chest and triceps. Hadi obviously dominates in abs and thighs shut. And then most muscular is depends what you appreciate.
Right.
Hadi is devastating in the most muscular, but Samson being so much fuller, he's striated enough. I mean, listen, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
I have a newest update of Hadi. I want to share with you guys.
Yeah,
It's
please,
an hour ago came out. This is Hadi in Dubai right now. He's waiting for his visa, and he's hungry. He's a hungry wolf, and he's coming for this year.
Yeah.
What
What
do
do
you
you
think
mean
the judges? What?
What are you waiting for a visa? He still doesn't have a visa?
No, what I've heard, he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't got the visa yet. He's just
Oh,
waiting in
man.
Dubai for visa, and
Yeah,
this
you
is
see, this is his strength. These intercostals and deep abs. I was always saying abs and intercostals are middle of your body and attract so much attention and defines your conditioning. I mean, this is spectacular, right? So that's Hadi's strength. I think the Hadi is thicker to the chest this time and thicker, wider through the back. I
yeah.
think so.
I
Uh,
can see it in front. Double biceps he does. I have another check-in the other day. There is a huge, discussion going on between Hadi and Nick. What do you think about Nick? He's been like out of Mr. Olympia for 2 years. He's coming back and he's mutant
you have to respect Nick and you
for
have to
sure.
love him. He is every bodybuilder's bodybuilder. I mean, hardcore, trains like a mad dog, all this stuff, but doesn't have the shape. Well, he knows he's going to lose in the shape department, but he's going to try to overpower and outmuscle. I don't think he's going to overpower and outmuscle Hadi because Hadi creates illusion and he's not going to outcondition Hadi. So I still think that Hadi beats Nick any day.
Truly. Do you think Nick Walker ever can be Mr. Olympia?
If the star alignment is perfect for him, if let's say he can beat Hadi on a back double biceps pose,
Okay.
and
Side poses.
What about lat spread? What about most muscular? He
I mean,
changed his leg, the structure kind of changed as he just get wider and shrink down his stomach. He's talking about the lot of peptide he using, KPV,
I'm
right?
not I'm not gonna say that it's impossible. Like what's his name? Bob Chick was saying, eighth place finisher, Nick Walker.
That's yeah,
You know,
kind of
no, Nick has a legitimate chance of winning. You know, not to mention, I mean, Dorian was not the most aesthetic guy, but it was aesthetic enough and huge and conditionally crazy. Jake Cutler was not the most aesthetic guy, but he creates the illusion of being aesthetic because shoulders were so wide and waist proportionally still there was balance and condition. And I told him yesterday on the podcast, Dexter Jackson and Sean and Kevin and Chris Cormier had way more aesthetic body, and I would go for their look any day over him. But then when I see them on stage, I understand why judges gave to Jay. And
yeah.
I would give it to Jay also. And I'm a aesthetic guy, but you have to appreciate what you see.
Yeah.
So if Nick Walker controls his abs every moment, which means when he turns to the side, when he's standing relaxed, and we don't see anything in his midsection, which he did when he won Honor Classic.
Yeah.
I promise you, I was shocked because I was looking for a moment and I didn't see. So I know it is possible. He's bigger now than before. He's going to freak people out and he can get in crazy condition, right? And he's super popular with the audience.
Yeah.
You don't know. So everybody's bringing different things. Samson is bringing most beautiful shape with a lot of size and enough conditioning. Hadi is bringing crazy conditioning. He has everything, but a little bit smaller frame,
And he's short.
Short, yeah. So that you have to account. Then Derek is bringing that shape that he has, not enough, hardness and conditioning from the front, but for some reason he's getting away with it. And a crazy back. He beat Samson. He beat Nick this year already, and he beat Hadi before. There's not too many people that beat Hadi. He is one of the few that did manage. So you can't discount him either. Andrew Jack, is also that factor that God knows if he brings those legs and crazy conditioning, then he is a factor also.
So the way you're explaining it that it's going to be a dogfight. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's condense it. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. One last way of saying this: everybody is at 100%. Who's winning?
Okay, what does it mean? Everybody's at 100%? Because can 100% of Samson ever be as conditioned and 100% of Hadi?
No, not really, but he has the shape, he has the part to come up.
That's what I'm saying. Look,
okay, I'll say it this way: if the Samson that you have envisioned in your head shows up, the ultimate Samson.
So
and Hadi shows up with a drier back, because I've been saying that from day one. His front doesn't look like his back. Derek comes in without those lumps on his lats, and his front looks a little bit harder than it does. It's catching up to his back. Andrew comes in at his best. Nick comes in at his best, freakiest and hardest. Who's winning?
I would still say that Samson has an advantage because of just cartoonish Superman look. If you really, put the Superman costume on him and put the mask of a Superman on his face, it's close to Superman as it can be, right? Because he has that shape, round muscle bellies and everything. But then when you really shine the light and you see the quality of Hadi, it's breathtaking. And I could see it's going to be flip of the coin what judges decide. When Hadi beat Samson at Honor Classic 2024, I didn't think that Hadi is going to be able to, because I've seen Samson physique, and I know he needed to be a little drier. He still didn't get as dry, but I thought this is just too much. But then Hadi showed up, and there was no doubt. It was a coach shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a great answer. But you're still going to get thousands of death threats from Iranians now because you even mentioned Samson, right?
No.
So that's the problem. See, listen, I always say this. Amir knows me better than anybody else. I love my culture. I love my people. I'm Iranian and all that stuff. But they're very, very, very serious when it comes to this. They take it personally and all that stuff. So just so we want to let everybody know, it is a toss-up. It is basically a toss-up. I see it the same exact way as Milos says, okay? They hate me, believe me, just as much as they hate anybody else when I say things like this. But I see it the same exactly like Milos said. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to come down to minute little things. The smallest little things as to which direction Tyler wants to go, Steve wants to go, or Jimmy wants to go. So that's how I see it, too. What about you?
If I can explain myself to my Iranian brothers. Okay, when I say I see Samson possibly beating Hadi, I don't mean anything else other than consider that beautiful shape, thickness, completeness, and everything of Samson. You cannot ignore, but he's never going to have a condition and hardness of a Hadi. So it's apples and oranges. Which way judge is going to go? It's subjective opinion.
Correct.
In Latin language, I always mention this, de gustibus non est disputandum. You can't discuss about a taste. A taste is subjective. Right. So if it's not objective, It's not like, okay, we run 100 meters dash and who wins, I'm better. It's not the lifting contest, who lift more, I win. So you heard me say a million times, I'm going to say it one more final time. Hadi could have won every pro show he ever entered and can ever enter in the future because he's that good. Okay, Samson is very close contest with him right now, and we see that maybe version of Samson is coming. There is this defined. At Old School Podcast, this is my top five prediction that I'm going to tell you if you didn't hear it.
Let's hear it.
Samson, Hadi, Behrouz, top three. Okay.
Wow.
Now, and then fourth was Andrew, and then fifth was going to be Derek and Nick fighting.
Oh, damn.
And a lot of people are going to hate me, but hey, listen, in a five of a closest physique, somebody has to be first and somebody has to be fifth. It could be, like you said, minute difference, minute.
Yeah.
And if Hadi shows up in his all-time best because he's so goddamn crisp always, okay, maybe judge is going to say this is impossible not to give him because that's Andreas Munzer kind of conditioning back and front inside, so you cannot deny him. Samson still has a little bit of that softness. He doesn't have a midsection stomach to fight with Hadi because Hadi just have the crazy six pack, and that's visible in all poses, right? Hadi has that frontal biceps that, oh my God, if you shut the light, it's X frame all over, peaking biceps and all that stuff. Samson is good in frontal biceps, he could go either way.
Oh, so you said it best already. You don't have to explain anymore. Apples and oranges, man.
But
Apples.
now I'm going to tell you this, okay? And a lot of Iranians might be not agreeing with me. If I look at Hadi and Behrouz head to head, okay, I still think that Hadi would maybe edge him out, but Behrouz has a more beautiful
structure,
body.
for sure.
More beautiful body and can get in the same conditioning. He's still, a couple of pounds off. In sense of Hadi still creates illusion of a thickness in the size, okay? But people never see them next to each other.
True.
Behrouz is taller. Behrouz is more aesthetically pleasing, and many poses are going to be spot on. Behrouz would beat Hadi in
The back.
back shots.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think Behruz gonna be the dark horse of this year, Mr. Olympia. He gonna just shock a lot of people with the back poses, with the side poses. You can see how thick it is. How thick it is.
It is. I would want to ask all the Iranian people. Front double biceps and front lat spread, Hadi or Behruz?
I think Behruz.
That's something for them to think about, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you're gonna have your favorites.
True.
Hadi is well-established hero, but Behruz is also loved and appreciated, right?
Oh,
So until we see them next to each other, all this YouTube and Instagram comparison, you can't really tell until they stand next to each other.
Milos, do you agree with me on my assessment that if Behruz beats Andrew and Martin, that's almost like winning the Olympia for him?
Oh yeah.
So you do agree with that? See, that's how I see it, and that's what I would tell Behruz if I was the day before the show, and I'm in his room, I'm looking at him, and you're standing next to him. I would say, you beat Martin, and you beat Andrew. This is an Olympia win for you. That's top 5. You're in there, and now the door. It's all up to you now. That's how I see it.
You remember that after the Dubai show, Alex Muscle interviewed him and asked him what he predicts for the Olympia. Did you see it?
Yeah.
He said top 3.
Yeah.
And I think that Behruz still gives respect and
damn, man, he is just like he's in a different level. His mentality, his respect, he respects everybody, every single body. He doesn't have that wolfness that Hadi has. And if he has like that wolf, he's gonna destroy a lot of people. He's so nice. He's super nice.
Oh yeah, he's the nicest guy ever. I mentioned this many times. Like I I feel that he is my son. Really, this is how much I love that guy. He's most respectful, and
He's
I'm
no
the biggest
respect.
fan of his physique. I mean, really, I'm a coach, but as a bodybuilding fan, when I look at his physique, if I want to look like anybody, listen,
It's
I would want to
Behruz.
look like Behrouz. There's no physique on the planet Earth that I would want to look like other than Behrouz.
Yeah, this guy is very handsome.
No, it just like that's bodybuilding. You see, when you have that small waist, and I mentioned this, and it's different when you create illusion of a small waist doing the vacuum, and when you really have a small waist.
Right, right.
Okay, and this is that thing that I want to get to the judges to think about it. There is a moment. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at that waist. This is like bikini competitor
Oh
waist,
my God.
and this waist is like this 24/7. And in all the transitions. Some other guys have to vacuum it. Look at that. And I love Andrew Jack's physique also. I mean, Andrew Jack, I absolutely love his physique. Yeah, by all
I
means.
think Behruz is more complete, and he has more muscle maturity. You can see a lot of lines into his pecs. His backs is like way more improved. Like his
Oh,
glutes
where was that?
insane.
Is this your website?
Yeah,
Can you,
it's my page.
can you send me the link? I
Yeah,
want to
sure.
see this one before. Yeah, send me that because I appreciate it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
there you go.
Milos, speaking of Behruz, let's finish up this conversation with as far as Behruz goes. What's up with the visa, man?
Oh yeah.
That's the
Everybody
million
want to know.
dollar question right now. What's
I'm,
up with his visa?
Unfortunately, there is one more correspondence that we need to get one more answer that should be, if I'm correct, in less than 2 weeks. Ugh. I mean, it's still, cracking
Oh,
enough time. I know. And I think that now all requirements should be met because they went back and forth, back and forth. They want one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. And this is the final straw. So on August 29th, they will send something, and 2 weeks later, whatever that would be, August 29th plus. I mean, it's pretty much now that's supposed to be responded. And listen, the happiest moment of my life is going to be when I heard that he got the visa. I mean,
everybody.
nothing else compares, and I would be most devastated, if this happens again because I live and breathe this with him every time. Look at that.
Oh yeah. There's a huge difference between 25 and 24. 24, you know, uh, was his first title in Dubai Pro, and I think he can just win it every year for like next 5 6 years. It's gonna be his title.
I mean, he. I'm gonna say he's top three best bodybuilder in the world right now.
I believe so.
I was criticized like, oh, how can you compare him with Derek?
Oh yeah, I have all this comparison. I'm gonna send it to you after a podcast.
But I said it very easily. I mean, Tarek was saying, oh, you think he can beat Derek? I said, give me one
Oh yeah.
reason he can't.
Oh yeah. The
I
back
mean,
double biceps is super close. I have Behruz with Martin here that you can see the like front poses, conditioning. Martin known like as the
okay,
most balanced physique on this Mr. Olympia, right?
okay. Let me ask King. Let me ask King. Uh, Arms, biceps or triceps, Behruz or Derek?
Let me bring
Without
the
a question, Behruz.
Shoulders.
Behruz, because that's what should we call it? Derek's weak point. He doesn't have a line in his shoulders.
Wait. Chest,
Behruz.
abs.
That's ridiculous. That's Derek's weak point.
Okay. Now back, which back is tremendous for Derek. Okay, but I'll ask you.
It's
Look
awesome.
at.
It's awesome.
Okay, Alex, go on my Instagram and last post that I put of a Behruz.
oh yeah.
Last post.
I will go and check it out right now. Bring it up. I
I'm
was
just bummed that I don't have a whole video. I just had this partial video. Ooh,
okay. Let's bring
you
it up.
find it? That like with a back black background. That one. Okay. Now look at this.
Oh
Front
my.
double. unbeatable. Unbeatable. Light spread, unbeatable. Side chest, okay, very, very good. Most muscular, unbeatable. Look at the back. Okay. He's leaning a little bit too much back, but still look width, thickness. Ah, so he's at least super competitive. So overall, I think he can really beat Derek.
Yeah, for sure.
If here's the thing, here's how I see it, and I'll be completely honest. If he comes in the best conditioning of his life, he's in there. 100% he's in there. But he's got to be in the best condition of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does Behrouz need to become Mr. Olympia, Milos?
Little bit thicker legs. And one thing that, okay, you guys think about this when I said it. I told Behrouz also, one of the muscles that can flatten out to him would be chest. I've seen a couple of times. When he's full, he's unbeatable. But if we go too far, sometimes it flattens out a little bit. And this is a power muscle from the front, right? It creates illusion of a more size. So with against somebody like Samson, he would need that because Samson has such a thick.
Right.
So that's that fine line. When you decide I'm going to go, I know. Behrouz told me many times, Coach, I just want to be drier. I know how he is because that's Iranian thing.
Yeah.
If you're not desert dry, you're not dry. If it's not the bone dry, that's not dry, right?
True.
But okay, I throw that in every time. Year that Hadi Chopin won the Olympia was his worst condition, dryness wise.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay, but you see, you don't know which way to go. Honey Rainbow decided, okay, I'm going to sacrifice a little bit condition for this, and it worked perfectly. Dubai last year, Tyler Mannion and Steve Weinberger said that's perfect condition. He didn't go.
Awesome.
You see, and I know that in Behrouz's mind, he was not dry enough, but we needed to keep this and legs fuller. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's that thing that you sometimes have to compromise. Ideally, when you have a tons of muscle and you can sacrifice a little bit just for that super dryness, okay. But when you don't have a commodity of losing something, I was today, before this podcast, I was with Dennis Chris and Stefan Kinzel
Okay.
that coached Urs for his pro victory. And he says he knew that he didn't get him in a condition like he was at
Classic.
the separation and dryness was not there, but he compromised to get this look that was winning look, right? So that's how you have to talk. Now, for me, when Behrouz goes on the stage next to Hadi, he's going to have to be bone dry.
Yeah.
So that's now a different level of competition, right? If you go against your own kind and your own type, and it's every fiber is going to be exposed 1,000 times over, then he's going to have to go for super ripped.
Let's say Behrouz at 100%. He brought the leg and everything is there. Samson at 100%. He's gonna nail his conditioning. Who's gonna win the show?
I think that Behrouz could have beat Samson first time for sure, 2021. And 2023, I would only give it to Samson on the thickness of the legs that created a little bit more balance.
Right.
But upper body wise, Behrouz beat him in every pose.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's definitely the X factor. Behrouz is definitely the X factor in the show.
So it's just that balance. And you see, the good thing about Behrouz is because of such a miniature waist, he doesn't have to create crazy leg size, but just enough, because then it's going to be that X frame and waist to legs ratio, right? So Samson is still, because he has such a powerful legs. I also don't think that Samson quality meets Behrouz quality. Behrouz is obviously more ripped and more.
So let me throw one last curveball at you before we get into the lightning round, which is my favorite part, by the way.
Right.
Okay. If Keon was in,
Oh yeah, he's coming
What
home.
would happen?
I love Keon. I absolutely love his physique. He's pretty much close to ideal. The only thing that he doesn't have ideal is midsection that Linea Alba is spreading, and he can get away. He poses very well, so you can see it. V taper is beautiful, but he's still 208 pounds.
Right.
Okay, they were saying something about Tonio, contesting Behrouz at Dubai. For me, that was clear, and
Yeah.
for judges was clear. I mean, see, you can still see the difference. And until I've seen Kerit Baggio doing a Texas show, and he showed up on the stage looking crazy condition, beautiful shape, everything. Until you stand him next to the open guys, then you saw the discrepancy in size.
Right.
I still think that you're gonna very well see the difference of what is 210 pounds Keon next to major open guys. As far as beauty of physique, this is as good as it gets. So I could compare him and Behruz's beautiful physiques. Okay.
Oh,
But it's still 210 against like 260.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
As Jim Mannion would say, this is still bodybuilding. He's always, that's what Jim always used to say to me when I would say, hey, what about Sean? Yeah, it's still bodybuilding. King, it's still bodybuilding. King, it's still bodybuilding. So,
Yeah.
all right, listen, Milos, awesome. Awesome as always. You explained insulin, you gave your opinions, giant sets. Love you. We're gonna move on to the speed round.
What is
Okay.
that?
Let's go,
I'm
King.
gonna say something. You have to say the first thing that pops into your head. Okay?
You're gonna get me in trouble. Okay.
No. We're gonna have fun with this. All right.
Okay.
Favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Hardest workout of your life?
Leg workout when I did 405, 10 sets, 10 reps in 20-minute period.
Awesome.
Okay.
Damn.
So 405, 10 sets, 10 reps, timed under 20 minutes.
That's awesome. That
Wow.
sounds like King of Squat. I used to do that with my guys called King of Squat. Your favorite bodybuilder of all time?
Okay. I would say Lee Haney. I would have to say
Great answer. Your favorite bodybuilder today?
Behrouz Tabani.
First thing you eat after a show?
I'm gonna tell you that this is freaky. You're gonna laugh. I had a ham and cheese sandwich and an apple. Listen, it doesn't even make sense. I craved that and I couldn't wait to get off the stage and eat ham and cheese sandwich with an apple.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I understand when you lose your mind. I've lost my mind many times too. Trust me. Your best bodybuilding contest memory?
Well, the pro debut when I qualified for Olympia in my first outing in San Jose Pro Invitational without ever thinking this is even possible. Okay, and the picture that you just showed with me on a British Grand Prix, when first time in my life, I felt so goddamn big that I beat two of the monsters, Nasser and Marcus, and I felt pose for pose. Okay, hit me with your best shot. I have it. That most muscular, the side chest. I promise you, like when you surprise yourself, but there is no better feeling that on the stage you feel that fullness and power and squeeze.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna start getting you in trouble now. Okay,
All right.
we're gonna make it a little bit tougher. 100% Nasser El Somebody versus 100% Nick Walker. Who wins?
Nasser.
Love you. Biggest mistake bodybuilders make?
Biggest mistake, not going 100%. You have to define 100% in everything: nutrition, supplementation, training, rest, pharmacology, blah, 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 blah. They all compromise. Okay. It's not one thing, it's the sum of the things.
Yeah.
Great answer. Most proud moment as a coach?
Dennis Wolf, Olympia 2007. As you know, 2006, I think you beat him.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. And nobody really expected. And the moment he stepped on that stage, I know that Victor was great. I said there was between Victor and Dennis, if any of those two guys won, I wouldn't mind. So it's just seeing what you project in imagination, you're seeing materialize on the stage under the lights on Miss Olympia stage. It's no better feeling.
Is Big Ramy done?
I don't think so.
He's coming back, I think.
I tell you this, 2003, I hanged up my trunks, like you said, but then 2007, I got the urge to come back. And somehow, once a competitor, always competitor. He is 2 times Mr. Olympia. He still believes probably that he has in him. You know, when you look at your body and you think, can I beat this guy? I beat him before, I can beat him again. So I think that we didn't see the last of Ramy.
I agree. I agree. Iranian bodybuilders.
The hardest working, most committed. I basically love every single one of them. As soon as you see Iranian bodybuilder, you don't have to ask for a passport. You know that they're from Iran. The quality is next level.
100% Hadi Chupan versus 100% Kai Green. Who wins?
Hadi.
Hadi?
Hadi.
Wow, you're the first person to ever say that when I asked the question.
Hadi. I love Kai. I love Kai. Hadi.
Okay. 100% Chris Bumstead versus 100% Leela Brada. Who wins?
Wow.
Lila brother still.
So
100%.
I'm going to tell you this. Chris Bumstead didn't have arms, to talk about the abs, to, really talk about this is the best event. The legs, I mean, he had that tear and all that stuff. I mean, Lila Brada was as close to perfection as you can think of. I mean, Brada.
I'm not done with you yet. Hold on, I'm not done with you yet. 100% Chris Bumstead against 100% Milos Sarchef. Who wins?
Chris would get me on the back, but you know what? I'll take. I think I would give him a run for the money at my best.
I would say Milos Sarchef. That's what I would say.
More complete.
100% Dexter Jackson versus 100% Sean Ray. Who wins?
Okay. It's still Sean. I love Dexter. I love them both equally. Dexter thinks that maybe he would get. I've seen them both many times. Sean had something really special about him. He was so undersized, and you never. Huh?
He had that golden skin. That is very. It's hard to explain his skin.
Yeah,
it was weird. 100%. 100% Flex Wheeler. 100% Kevin Lebroni.
Flex. I mean, they met so many times, and Kevin beat him many times, but still, Sultan of Symmetry. Flex had that something special in him, like beauty, aesthetics is next level. Kevin had a little bit also muscle thickness to his beauty, but if you really look at shape, Flex all day.
Yeah, I would agree with you because I was in the audience and I would watch them walk out at the Arnold Classic, all their battles at Arnold Classic, and you would just look at Flex and say, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? So yeah, I agree. Okay. Insulin and GH or IGF-1?
Insulin and IGF-1.
Okay.
I knew you were going to say something crazy like that. I knew. 100% Flex Wheeler, 100% Phil Heath.
I would go with Flex, even though people will not agree. I would go with Flex.
I'd go with Flex too. The toughest bodybuilder you ever worked out with?
I train. Who did I train with? That was toughest.
You worked out with him.
I mean, Nasser, that 1995, a few months of training was hell, because Nasser was as intense as you can think, and he was also insisting on a good form. So there was a gazillion times that he would not allow me to cheat. I'm kind of Jay Cutlerish, swing, swing to lift, right? And Nasser would have none of it. Like, shoulder side laterals, he would actually put his hands on my traps so he doesn't let me, like, lift up with the calves and swing it, right? Yeah. I remember training with him. There was no picnic.
King Kamali.
I love you to that. I think you're one of the greatest personalities a sport ever had.
Appreciate it.
And let me tell you this. You exceeded what I thought would be your physical potential. You're one of the known, but you're Iranian, so I guess your conditioning back in the day explains Iranian genetics, because really, I was so impressed with what you brought to that Iron Man and a few other shows. Uh, and like I said, you're a personality. I know that you're not gonna agree with me completely. Uh, your posing routines was still most beautiful entertainment, yes, but it's against my policy of what posing routines should be judged by the judges and presenting physique more than movement.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
See, here's the crazy part. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I was an entertainer.
Yes.
That's it. I wasn't Lila Bra. I look at Lila Brada's videos and I'm thinking to myself, wow. That's what I say. I say, oh my God, wow, look at that. Because I wouldn't want to do any of that. That wasn't my thing. I was more wanted to have fun.
And you did a hell of a job. You did entertain a crowd. You accomplished it.
I appreciate that, man. And the last one, the best advice you can give to the new generation coming up.
Well, that's a cliche. Everybody would always hear that. Repeated, believe, achieve. But it's really 100% believe in yourself. Me coming from Yugoslavia, we were talking about, I was laughing stock of a nation when I said I'm going to be at Miss Olympia. Everybody was trying to stop me and said, like, don't be fool and think and, believe it's such an impossible thing. King, you did it. I did it. And everybody else that is doing it, we are not superior human beings to any of those people I'm addressing. Does it? If we did it, you can do it too. And even things that we didn't, somebody has to do it first. Believe it can be you.
When I was coming up in the NPC, I wasn't even at the national level yet. I was training with Willie Stalling, who was getting ready to compete at the nationals. And that year, he beat Jay at the nationals for the overall. Okay. And I was training with him. And on a Wednesday night at Olympus Gym in Falls Church, Virginia, you would have Kevin Lebroni, Yaz Boyum, you would have Jennifer Greenbaum, Dawn Long, you would have Papoose, you would have all the Maryland, Virginia, and DC heavy hitters, pros, top national level competitors. And that gym was insane. And I would be in there trying to, and I remember the biggest promoter, I'm not even going to say his name to give him any credit. He showed up at that gym that night. And when everybody was training and I was doing legs with Willie, and he embarrassed me in front of the whole gym. And he said, why do you train so hard? Why do you train so hard? Kid, just give it up. Willie, say something to him, man. You guys got to tell this kid to go back to school. And I shed a tear. I'm getting emotional. I shed a tear. And Willie looked at me and said, don't listen to him, man. And Fairfax said, no, listen to him, King. And he walked away. And 3 years later, the last show that he promoted for me to qualify for the nationals, I won the overall, and he refused to walk on stage and raise my hand. And Don Long and Jack Smith jumped on stage and they raised my hand. And I just stared at him the whole time as he's standing off stage.
No way.
That is how much what you meant what you said right now means. Never, ever stop, and take all that hate and negativity and turn it into power and drive.
Yes, exactly. That's the story. First time I heard, I am pissed off now that you told me that, right? That somebody can look at you and say like, okay, do something else, kid. This is not for you. And you
At peak time, 7:30 at night on a Wednesday, packed, everybody's going crazy, and he just embarrassed me in front of everybody. And I'll send you the picture. I have a picture somewhere, and I'm smiling and I'm going like this, and Don and Jack Smith are standing next to me. They just jumped on stage. They just jumped on stage and grabbed my hands and they put him up. That was
I
one of
love
the ever.
this is gonna stick with me now. I love it. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Amir, anything else, man? Man, I told you he's going to be the best guest ever.
He was
Nobody better than Milos.
Podcast for sure. Mr. Milos Sarchef. This was honestly one of the best and deepest, longest, and the most eye-opening interviews we done. You're not just a champion from 90s, you're a coach, you're a teacher, and somebody who has truly shaped the modern bodybuilding. Thank you so much for being open and sharing everything with us.
Well, one last thing. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
Tell Milos right now to his face how he will be treated when he goes to Iran.
Man,
I'm telling you, he will be put on somebody's shoulder and they're going to walk him just like they do with Hadi. I promise you that. That's how they're going to treat him when he
Listen,
goes.
I can't wait. I mean, this is a long time coming. You know, I just feel I need to be there. I need to have that presence on their soil, surrounded with the Iranian people. I can't wait. I visualize that many times, right? And it's gonna happen.
it's going to be a special time. It's going to be like never before. I'm telling you, man. It's different between Dubai and Iran. When you go to Iran, everybody knows you, you know, and everybody know what you've done for sport of bodybuilding, not just for Iranian people. You are one of the most intelligent scientists in the world of bodybuilding.
Thank you.
Personally, myself, I've learned so much, you know, from you. You don't even know that. And a lot of Iranian people know your like giant sets, know like your insulin protocol, know like your philosophy of training, nutrition, and everything. And they learned a lot from you. They all respected you and they love so much. I mean, they are in love with you. You can't imagine. You got to go there.
And there's and this is only part one because Milos, we didn't even get to preload,
Oh, yeah.
explode, and reload. We didn't get into that, and we also didn't get to your anabolic cookies.
That's
He has the greatest cookies on the planet. This guy, man.
I told this to Amir. This is maybe the first one, but it's not the last one. When you guys want me back, of course I'm going to come back.
It would be pleasure. Absolutely would be pleasure. I want you to have, I mean, the last podcast I wanted to have you was a year ago before Mr. Olympia. You had a like vacation or it was some like family thing. You were going back home. You remember?
Yeah. Listen, I have a 87-year-old mother that I need to see every year, right? So that's my priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I could not go before the Olympia. I was literally hoping that Behrouz is going to already be here and I can train him for the Olympia, right? So that's why I cut all the plans to go to Serbia. There was actually, possibility that I do the hip replacement in Serbia, but I didn't want to go there and then stay for a month because I was thinking maybe Behrouz is going to be here. So even with the, with the compromised hip, I would still train him because I would love that nothing more. I trained him just a few times in Dubai, but it's not the same. I was envisioning having him for like 4 weeks. If I would have Behrouz for 4 weeks,
It's going to be a Mr. Olympia. He's going to be a Mr. Olympia. Trust me. If you train him on a leg day, it's going to be plenty like everything. I mean, you know that's
it's going to happen one of these days.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys. King, you know I love you. So the moment you ask anything, I agreed. And of course, Amir, now that I know you also,
Oh man.
and anything for Iran, of course, I would do it. You know, uh, I'm not sure if you guys even see it. I posted a few times back in 2017 when I was doing some videos to encourage IBB officials to bring Behrouz and all the Iranian great bodybuilders. That was 2017. He finally made it in 2018. And I told him just what King was saying. There is so many great Iranian bodybuilders that would change the landscape of bodybuilding.
Oh, it's gonna happen soon. It's gonna happen soon. Hopefully, very soon. They're gonna have their own like NPC league going on there. Then we're gonna have like pro league in Iran. It's gonna be amazing if all those like Iranian people, Iranian bodybuilder can get organized. Can somebody watch them? Somebody have like decent knowledge and those kind of stuff. It's gonna be awesome league. And I'm telling you, the standard going to be higher for sure.
All right.
All right.
Special regards just to my brother, Reza Zinotlu, his daughter, Sarah, that left me greatest message a couple of days ago. It's I'm sure that everybody there is familiar with great Reza Zinotlu, and I'm still super grateful to him that he connected me with Behrouz.
Oh yeah.
And I do think that as time will tell, Behrouz is going to be the second Iranian guy to hold the Sandor Trophy.
God willing.
100% believe
God
it.
willing.
For sure.
I don't know what you say, inshallah or mashallah. Mashallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Okay.
God willing. Yeah, that means God willing. Mr. Milos Sارچف, pleasure to see you here. Thank you so much. We hope see you like again very soon. Guys, that's episode 38 of Radio Bodybuilding with Mr. Milos Sárchev. We hope you enjoyed this episode, in-depth conversation with Milos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with your friends. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, stay motivated. See you guys.
See you guys.